everyone, my name is Katrina. I am the content coordinator here at Y2Y, and I'm happy to be sitting here with my colleague Nadine. So Nadine, I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit.
Hi everyone, my name's Nadine Reynolds and I live in New Denver on the shores of Slocan Lake, and I'm the Columbia Headwaters Program Manager, which is one of our priority areas in British Columbia.
The first question, do people submit Wolverine reports of Wolverine sightings, and who is actually getting far enough, out there to actually see signs of them?
Yes, people are submitting reports of Wolverine sightings, which is really wonderful. We actually had in 2019, we had 296 observations reported through Wolverine Watch, which was huge, was I think triple the number compared to the 3 years previous to that. So we're really grateful to the people and the partners in the Y2Y network who've made these reportings and who've also spread the word about this citizen science initiative. And I think what's really neat about those reports is that we're hearing stories from people, both from being out this past winter, but people are also sharing their memories from years ago when they saw Wolverines. So we're getting those sightings of, oh my gosh, I just saw tracks, in the backcountry, to I remember very clearly years ago when I saw Wolverine, because it's very impressive when you get to see a Wolverine. And people love to talk about Wolverines. It is very special to see their tracks, and very, very lucky if you get to see an animal. And the people who are reporting really they're people who love being out in nature. So we're getting reports from backcountry skiers and snowshoers, from snowmobilers, from trappers. It's a real diversity of people who are sharing their sightings and their stories.
That's amazing. That's really cool. And you're right. People do love talking about Wolverines. I love talking about Wolverines and feel like I learned something new about them and all the research that's being done every day. So thank you. I'll just move on to the second question. And well, it starts with saying thank you for holding the Wolverine events earlier this year. So the Chasing a Trace film screenings and presentations. So did the postcards that people signed actually end up helping?
Okay, great question. So yeah, so during the film and speaker tour that we did last fall, we partnered with WildSight on that, and we were really so pleased and really excited to see how much interest there was in Wolverines and in Wolverine research. So we had over 1,300 people attend those community events, and these were evenings, weekday evenings in November, and in small rural communities across the Columbia Headwaters, and people filled the community halls and their local movie theaters. So it was really, really neat to see, and I think for us, also to hear that people love to learn and to talk about Wolverines. And so, and it was a really nice moment during those events when people physically wrote a postcard. So we had about 900 postcards written, and then some people chose to write online as well, and then of course spread the word online, which was great. But having those physical postcards, one, they're very personalized. We had kids at the events who would write a little story or write a request to the government, and those personalized postcards, and I think to some degree that it's physical mail. We don't get that as much these days, and it does make a difference. And we've actually received some feedback from the province of BC that they really took notice to those. We have the government staff working on wildlife are working on a lot of different things all the time, and to have those kind of letters come from people is it motivates, and it also does ensure that we see action from government. So actually just last week we had a really special gathering of people, all kinds of people across BC who were working on wolverines. So we had Wolverine researchers as well as government staff come together, and it was stated during that full day meeting we had last week how incredibly important it is to hear from the public. Government wants to know what we think, and they want to know what we want them to do. And so to hear from people who believe in protecting wolverines and making sure there's a world for wolverines in the future is really important and does have an impact. So there's actually been a new person hired recently in government who is focusing on small fur-bearing animals. And so the research is continuing within government and the partnership between researchers, which is really exciting. So yeah, I really want to say thank you to everyone who wrote and expressed their love and their concern for wolverines.
Thank you, Nadine. Yeah, I can feel the energy coming through when you talk about just being at those events and like how amazing it was to have community members come together. And of course, like you said, we have our online community of supporters as well who have made a huge difference. And yeah, it's like being a voice for wildlife that can't speak for themselves. So very well said. Thank you so much for talking to me today. I really appreciate your time.